Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now. Man, I just can't stop smiling sometimes. It feels good to do my videos, though, real talk. So that's why I guess I come into them just cheesed up. Every time I do the intro, it just reminds me of where I've been and where I'm at right now. But, so, this could have been a think fast video, because I don't have a lot of information. I kind of just been cramming on this situation the last, I want to say hour, maybe 30 minutes. And on Ophiuchus, you know what I'm saying, the 13th Zodiac sign that NASA just decided to tell us about again, that, you know, that basically that 13th Zodiac sign that never left, you know what I'm saying, it just had been omitted, you know what I'm saying, from the Zodiac sign. Matter of fact, omitted from Western Zodiac, you know what I'm saying, in which it's funny. As a matter of fact, just to show you how it's spelled from my little notes. Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus. But yeah, I heard, in which I'm just going off of, like, I did my Mercury retrograde video, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing stuff pop up about Ophiuchus, and I know how the universe work with me. If it's pointing a little knowledge out or some type of information, that mean, hey, Corey, go look at this. You know, that's my spirit guides telling me to go check this information out. But Ophiuchus is the 13th omitted sign, which is not necessarily the 13th omitted sign, because constellation-wise it's located in between Sagittarius and Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? So that would, in essence, make the Pisces the real technical 13th zodiac. They just calling it 13 because they basically, it was always there. You know, Western civilization, the Europeans, the Catholic Church with all their control and stuff. They were like, nah, we ain't gonna talk about the healer Ophiuchus. We ain't gonna talk about that. Like, we gonna hide that to the side, take that out of astrology, all that, you know what I'm saying? So now that it's, you know, pop back up, you know, information wise, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean, you know, it's the newest 13th, you know, sign. Now, it always been there. It just always been in hiding. Certain people don't want you to know certain things about certain stuff. But, you know, as a matter of fact, in which, to kind of add to that, you know what I'm saying, Ophiuchus is a female sign. You know what I'm saying? One of the only few female signs and one of the only few ether signs, which is the only ether sign and the only female sign. So you would understand a Western civilization that derives from a Freemasonry civilization, dealing with the Bible and dealing with Xing the woman completely out of everything. Like, you know, matter of fact, we clown with a G, and Mason stand for gay, because, I mean, basically, you know, even down to George Washington wanting to wear wigs and stuff, like, them and women, you know, all they wanted was men around them, and all they cared about was men. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You can't get no birth from 3 men. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? The female signs, you know what I'm saying? Whether the Ophiuchus, I'm sorry, I'm gonna kind of slow that name a little bit. No matter of fact, is a female sign, and it represents that Kundalini sign that, you know, that the medical field uses. You know, it's my little drawing, I'm sorry. Matter of fact, and which is also tied to Imhotep, you know, dealing with the Kemetic knowledge and stuff like that. You know, Imhotep was the healer of on all levels, you know. And basically, Ophiuchus is that aspect. Because, matter of fact, Ophiuchus, in essence, is the name that came after. Because, you know, that's a Greek, you know what I'm saying? Greek name came from Greece or whatever. So it's more of a Greece concept as far as that name, Ophiuchus. But it's basically a concept of Imhotep. And it's basically a healer. And matter of fact, to go even further down to Ophiuchus is tied to Lazarus in the Bible. So, you know, you got you go in line, you know what I'm saying? You get your information, in the most logical way, and that be taking the oldest stuff first. So, so first is, and then that's just first because it's probably even further than Emotep, but, first it would be Emotep. Then you could go with the actual name Ophiuchus, and then it's also tied to the energy of Lazarus from the Bible because it is the healer, you know what I'm saying? Because matter of fact, all these characters in some of these stories is just personifications of certain energies or entities or constellations, like in this example, you know what I'm saying? But it's basically tied to Emotep. And matter of fact, like I say, the Western civilization, you know what I'm saying, they took it away because, it dealt with feminine energy, which they didn't like. It dealt with ether energy, you know what I'm saying? And it deals with the woman, the womb, that darkness. Because matter of fact, it said, even in the constellation of Ophiuchus, in the stars in the galaxy, it has it's the only constellation with black holes, said to have black holes in it, you know what I'm saying? Or dark spots, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And this, so to speak, And basically though, like I say, NASA just decided, like, matter of fact, like I always tell y'all about stuff with dealing with the government and stuff. If they gonna lose their control, like, they gotta tell you a little bit, because if they just flat out just show that they don't give a fuck and they been lying and gonna stay lying, then we gonna just really overthrow their ass quicker, which you should understand the fact that they just trying to let a little knowledge out. You should know that, all right, they look guilty anyway, so we still should overthrow their ass quicker, but, still, they give you a little bit of information here, like, we not trying to brainwash all the way. Look, see, we could bring back let's bring back up Ophiuchus, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it now, Nah, look, don't try to friendly Bob now that we about to, now that the consciousness is about to shift and all that evilness is about to go away. We don't want a friendly Bob right now. I'm sorry, thanks for the information, but you're a little too late, like a couple thousand years too late, you know what I'm saying? But, they want to revamp that information to try to, look, man, we with y'all, man. We, all them lies and all that slavery and stuff. Look, man, let's just put that behind us, man. Look, we gonna start dropping truth to help. Nah, we don't want y'all truth. Nah. We good. We gonna keep getting our knowledge and, and do what we gotta do. But, matter of fact, in Ophiuchus people kind of that's born that Zodiac. Because matter of fact, that Zodiac basically is in between the dates of November 29th, some people say November 30th, give or take. November 29th to December 17th is the dates of Ophiuchus. And matter of fact, Ophiuchus is kind of like within astrology, you know what I'm saying? You could consider it to be in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, but also constellation-wise in the sky, like I bring up the little apps I use, if, matter of fact, because like the arrow of Sagittarius and the point of the scorpion tail, the sun is right in between that, which I think is said to be the middle of the Milky Way galaxy, where that's also where Ophiuchus is, and then that would make sense that Ophiuchus has a lot of dark spots if it's in the part where the middle of the galaxy is, you know what I'm saying? But basically too, like I say, Ophiuchus is in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, where the sun is right now, too, if you go look at it. And back to that point of, like, so in essence, it would make it like the ninth zodiac if you was going in line of, of where it's at date-wise, you know what I'm saying? And in most cases, which it always been there. So in essence, and this is what I've heard from a lot of astrologers, is that, you kind of just somewhat push your date back. So like if you're a Capricorn, you're gonna tend to have, cause the date, cause Ophiuchus opens up the zodiac, it'll push the dates a little further. So say for instance, I could look a little backwards to Sagittarius to look to some of my traits, you know what I'm saying, also. So even though I'm a January 5th Capricorn, you know what I'm saying, when you consider Ophiuchus into the astrology situation, then, then it kind of pushes everybody's sign. So like some Leos will go back into like a Virgo or whatever, it depends, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I can't get too deep into this because I'm not super well versed on astrology. Like I said, I just picked up on some of this information recently just to deliver it to y'all, Get y'all brains churning. As a matter of fact, they also speak on how Ophiuchus people are very connected to the ether, to the other dimensions, to the unseen. You know, very smart. Matter of fact, the characteristics of Ophiuchus, like as far as astrology concerned, is seeming like it's almost like an explanation of an indigo child, somewhat. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a person that's born. You know, because matter of fact, it's an ether sign. So these people basically have this etheric information, you know, within them, you know what I'm saying, from birth, you know what I'm saying. So walking around like Ophiuchus people tend to be smarter people, tend to be wealthy people with knowledge. Matter of fact, I forgot the young lady's name. She was just on Joel Benjamin podcast. Matter of fact, go check out Joel Benjamin on YouTube. He's associated with Sinetta TV and the Brethren's Red Pill, Blue Pill, and them. But basically, he had this lady on recently. I can't remember her name, but anyway, she was bringing up how, you know, like Jay-Z, Taylor Swift, Nicki Minaj, Trina, these are all people dealing with the Ophiuchus Zodiac, you know, and it's about that smartness, that knowledge of knowing you are one with Source, you know what I'm saying, and that God-like essence, and you're also, you know, you're born into it, or you become wealthy some kind of way, because like I said, it's embedded within you, you know what I'm saying? So Ophiuchus people, matter of fact, and there's also the power of healing, you know what I'm saying? Another thing I don't want to get away from is, you understand that right now, you know, we are raising in consciousness, so it's only right, you know what I'm saying, that Ophiuchus, you know what I'm saying, Ophiuchus, the sign is the Kundalini sign, you know what I'm saying? Kundalini raising, and then the wings is the crown chakra, you know what I'm saying? So that snake rises up, you know, up the spine, you know. So that energy too is what's raising across the board. Like Earth's Kundalini is raising, you know what I'm saying? The Kundalini and within our bodies, you know, is raising in essence, you know what I'm saying? Of course, in essence, you gotta manually, you know, sometimes you manually get Kundalini raisins, most of the time they are, but sometimes it could happen involuntary, but still, you know, just energy in general, you know, that Kundalini energy is on the rise within our solar system, you know. So it's only right that, you know, NASA like, oh yeah, don't forget about Ophiuchus, you know what I'm saying, that female energy that we've been keeping away from y'all, that's also dealing with healing and rebirth, and you know what I'm saying, and all this, you know, like let's bring that up now, you know, but it has to do with your Kundalini energy, like I bring up in all the prophecies, you know, is the fire, you know, that's burning down everything, you know what I'm saying, like Bob said, you know what I'm saying, it's the fire, you know what I'm saying, I love that part, that not to dread, rise, not to ride, but matter of fact, and he's talking about that Kundalini energy, you know what I'm saying? It's the fire, you know what I'm saying? Raising up that spine, you know, that healing energy, that chi energy. And matter of fact, too, like with dealing with Ophiuchus is also telling everybody, you know, to raise that Kundalini, and if like the males, you know, raising that female energy within, you know, female raising that male energy, but you know, it's that balanced energy, you know what I'm saying, that balanced healing energy, because also dealing with sex, you know what I'm saying, which the Catholic Church like, oh no, you know, that's why they made the fruit forbidden and this and that, but like sex also is a very healing, you know, through Tantra, you know what I'm saying, you pull in a lot of chi energy and a lot of healing energy during sex, you know, during sexual activities also, and that Kundalini, you know what I'm saying, your Kundalini is also sexual energy, is a blissful energy, you know what I'm saying, but as well as healing, you know what I'm saying, and etheric, you know what I'm saying, so like, because just like I said, if I cut you open right now, you know what I'm saying, anatomy wise, you know what I'm saying, you won't see your actual Kundalini, you know what I'm saying, it is an etheric energy going up your spine, you know, but I don't want to get, you know, too off into that, but yeah, Ophiuchus is the, you know, the 13th sign, but in essence, it's the 9th sign that always been there. They just omitted it in Western astrology because they have something against women, which, and to further along that notion, you know, what they have against women is that the first entities that, you know, Enki and Lil and all those entities, you know, cultivating earth or whatever, you know what I'm saying, they were working with some queens, some female, entities, where it was just female entities and they had more power and more rule, you know what I'm saying? So, once Ankin and Lil, tried to pull away from that and got away from that, not saying Ankin and Lil because they were kind of somewhat against each other in essence, but once their tribe got away, their male oriented, what I'm saying, energy got away from that feminine, what I'm saying, they like, all right, well look, we just gonna take the female way out of everything. Look, we gonna eliminate the female from all information, what I'm saying? So that's what you get with that, with the Ophiuchus, being a female sign and being taken out, because just pay attention, man. They just won't. I used to see that when I was a Catholic, being in church, and I'm like, damn, just a male preacher, just altar boys, just man, this, man, that. And I'm like, damn, like what a woman, the Bible is not not one word they give profoundly to a woman. You know what I'm saying? That, bruh, it's just crazy, and then, in Masonic thing, why it's just a male thing. Then all the Eastern stars, y'all go to the side, have y'all little group to the side, but, Freemasons male, you know what I'm saying? It's the cross, man. Two phalluses. Solar energy and solar energy don't create nothing. Just blinding light. Too much light, you know what I'm saying? Like too much phallic energy, man. Oh, what a woman that darkness of that womb, that etheric womb, so I could create. Man, and that's how the pineal is shaped too. The pineal is like a little phallus, and your pituitary gland is like a cowrie shell or like a little, little vagina. So as above, so below. You got sex going on in your brain too. But again, Ophiuchus, you know what I'm saying? Just do some research, on it and really look into it though, you know what I'm saying? But it's not no new zodiac sign. It always been there. Just a few, a few men who had something against women, against that feminine energy, just decide to lock that information up and get it away from everybody and make things about something else, want to wear wigs and stockings, stuff like that. But just pay attention to your astrology. Matter of fact, astrology is a science. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, the horoscope. Anybody could say, oh, you're going to go through something today. Y'all reading them little fortune cookie horoscopes. Like that little, was like, nah, it's deeper than that. It's about what star and what planet was on what degree of longitude, latitude, you know what I'm saying? Longitude, line, you know what I'm saying? Like it's way deeper than some fortune cookie, little message, But peace. I hope y'all could use, the little bit of insight that I gave y'all, you know what I'm saying? Happy now. Now is the vibrate. You know what I'm saying? Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now, man. Things are changing from, matter of fact, and two, I want to get to that, which I kind of left out too, and it even with the Mercury retrograde, it's not necessarily really in Capricorn, in essence, it's in Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying? Because matter of fact, you go look, you'll see that Venus is really in Capricorn right now, you know what I'm saying, too. So that's another thing, is dealing with misinformation too, to throw you off, you know what I'm saying? Also, why Ophiuchus was omitted. But we waking up though, it's all good. But peace and blessings again. Happy now. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now.